on into VG Emporium, video game music and more. I'm your host, Rage Cage, and hey, you know what happens when I don't really have any time to figure out what I want to do for the week? You get a grab bag! Yes, indeed. A nice little sack full of random goodies from the shop. What do you got today? Well, I know what you got today, but you don't know quite yet, excepting for this beginning track, which is title theme from Bound High, composed by Takaaki Oka, and this is coming from the Virtual Boy, a device that had some pretty surprising tech in it that is just completely squandered because of the display being in that headache-inducing red. You know, if Nintendo had just, spent the money to get those multicolored LEDs, instead of, pinching their pennies, or waited a little longer and gotten those same multicolored LEDs for a little cheaper, things may have turned out a little differently for the Virtual Boy, possibly. Yeah, you're right. They still have to figure out the whole awkward bulkiness of it, but, there it is. Just really cool hardware, squandered. And if you'd like to know what I'm talking about, definitely listen to Retronauts episode about this, as well as the video series by Jeremy Parrish, where he actually played through all the Virtual Boy games. He had like this whole crazy setup. And I actually did an episode on the sound hardware of this, episode 7, Sounds of the Virtual Boy. That's a pretty cool thing to go check out. It's wavetable, but it has its own kind of unique sound to it. It's not a little different from what you would hear on the PC Engine or even the WonderSwan or the MSX SEC. This entire soundtrack is pretty nice. It's all like nice, bouncy, happy sounding. And the composer, Takaaki Oka, I can't find anything on the guy. This is his only credit that I could find so far, so sorry. Now moving right along, grabbing out of our bag here, I got a track that actually kind of inspired doing this episode because I couldn't figure out where to fit it in. And I figured, hey, grab bag is good. So I got here next for you is Gekitotsu Clash Pennant Race Result Display BGM Arranged Version by Yuji Takenouchi under his project name Missing Soul. That was Gekitotsu and or Clash Pennant Race Result Display BGM Arrangement Version, originally composed and arranged by Yuji Takenouchi, also known as Takenouchi and Missing Soul. And as the name would suggest, this was originally composed for Clash Pennant Race 2 on the MSX2. So how I came upon this arrangement was, I follow Yuji Takenouchi on Twitter, and a couple weeks ago he shared this. And in the tweet, he said that this game's OST was the first project he worked on as a composer for Konami back in 1989, and that this song here is one of the first ones he had actually submitted, thus beginning a grand 32-year adventure and still going. So I thought that was pretty cool. And yeah, this arrangement is really nice. It actually has a nice little kind of breakdown bit that isn't part of the original composition. That adds a nice little touch. And just no matter what form the song takes, it just can't help bringing a smile to your face. So, if you'd like to know more about this music, the game it's from, and the composer, I did a whole episode about it called Episode 56, Konami Baseball 2-for-1, where I talk about Gekitotsu Pennant Race 2 as well as Namachuke 68 on the Sharpex 68000, which was also composed by Yuji Takenouchi and is also a baseball game. Yes, these are both baseball games I should have mentioned. And yeah, it's a good time. Just a lot of good music. And boy howdy do I have more good music for you. Coming up next here, we got Stage 9 from Panic Bomber, composed by Jun Chikuma and Kenichi Koyano. Stage 9 from Panic Bomber, composed by Jun Chikuma and Kenichi Koyano. So now you may be wondering, is this Bomberman related? Seeing as the name Bomber and then there's Jun Chikuma as one of the composers who has done music for the Bomberman series. And what you got here is a Bomberman puzzle game. Yes! And this is a match 3 dropping tile type puzzle game where you're getting multicolored Bomberman heads. So black, red, blue, green, white. And you're matching them, kind of popping them. And then there's bombs that show up every once in a while, and you get a red bomb that when it drops, it explodes out like doing the long fire threads. And if one of those touches the bomb, it sets off a whole chain reaction. Fun times. So this game was originally released in the arcade, and then had a port to the PC Engine Super CD-ROM, and then, of all things, the Virtual Boy, where I actually featured a song from in that Virtual Boy episode I mentioned earlier. So now this music was originally composed by Jun Chikuma, who has been the composer for Bomberman games since 1985, so all the titles all the way up until 2001 with Bomberman Tournament on the Game Boy Advance. And then we have Kenichi Koyano, who then took the music that Jun Chikuma composed and arranged it onto the YM2610. And Koyano's probably most well known for his work on Bloody Roar 2, and Armed Police Batrider. Alrighty, this next goodie I got here for you is a little different than what I usually play. I got Xeno Arcadia from Hylics 2, composed by Mason Lindroth and Chuck Salamone. Xeno Arcadia. From Hylics 2, composed by Mason Lindroth and Chuck Salamone, or Salamone. So now the reason why I'm presenting this to you is because I saw this performed live, a cover of it, by Ian Cowell and Kerry Wood in Sacramento just last Friday. Boy, I tell you, it was real good, and actually the reaction to it was surprising because the show itself, all the other acts weren't VGM related, and you would imagine that something that isn't the standards, like, Mario, Castlevania, Mega Man, what have you, wouldn't get as big as a reaction as the song did, but damn, I tell you, about maybe at least 50% of the people in the room were just, excited as hell about it, especially the one of the guitar players for one of the other bands. His reaction was just, I wish I had caught a video of it, it was amazing. But then again, the music folk in Sacramento are on the strange, so it would stand to reason that they would know about this very, very strange RPG, and its very, very strange soundtrack. So for you folks that may not know what this game is, Hylics 2 is a very psychedelic RPG. Our visual style is just crazy. It's just like this highly stylized, digitized stop motion, and with some pixel art thrown in there for good measure, and then the music by Chuck Salamone just fixed the world perfectly. And so, speaking of Chuck Salamone, he doesn't have many game credits to his name. He's done, Hylics 2, not Highlight, Hylics 2, Flip Side with a question mark, Aguero, Great Recall, Rogue North, and Vermilion Descent. And then you may have noticed that second name, Mason Lindroth. He is the creator of Hylics 2 and Hylics, and he actually did the music for Hylics soundtrack. So he gave a hand with some of the songs in Hylics 2, but mostly stuck with creating it, doing all the stop motion and everything. And cool little thing he has on here is that he says that Yume Nikki is a big inspiration for this game, especially for the dreamlike, surreal kind of just everything. And that's about all I got for you on this one. I have not played any of the Hylics games. It's a couple of games I've been meaning to play because they just look so interesting. Yeah, but one last thing I'll leave with you here is a description of it. The Tyrant Gibby's minions seek to reconstitute their long-presumed annihilated master. It's up to their crescent-headed protagonist Wayne to assemble a crew and put a stop to that sort of thing. And this definitely sounds like a thing I'd like to get up to. So now, we got one last track here in our bag, and it actually kind of relates to that show I saw Ian and Kerry play at last week. More so the sound guy, he played some music and kind of surprised me. So this next track we got here is Megami Online Center from Digimon World 3, composed by Satoshi Ishikawa. That was Megami Online Center from Digimon World 3, composed by Satoshi Ishikawa. And yeah, how this relates to that show I went to last week is that the sound guy was actually playing VGM in between the acts. And this song, or it wasn't this song, it was something from this game, I think, came up. And I was talking to another guy I had just met called, I think he goes by Octo Mammoth. And I was surprised because we were really getting deep into chiptune talk, and all of a sudden just some really cool things started showing up. We thought it was SNES, but then we asked the guy, and he just came up, told us it was something from Digimon. I want to say it was Digimon World 3, but he said I feel like he said Digimon Trainer 3. I don't know, but anyway, it was really good. And I just looked and I found this and I was like, okay, I'm going to play this because this also kind of matches that inexplicably cute sound that I and my buddy Wade were talking about way back. That was a few episodes ago, many episodes ago, and I need to do another inexplicably cute sound episode. I need to hit my boy up and see what else he's got for me. Tangents galore, but yeah. Digimon World 3. I don't know anything about it. I don't even know who the hell that weird blue dude bear thing is in the front of it. I kind of lost interest in Digimon after partway through the 3rd season, I think, because it wasn't the same kids, the same Digimon, same story. I probably shouldn't have cared, but I did as a kid. I wanted continuity, but anyway, I've only played Digimon World, and that was brutal. And I tried to like it. I didn't like it. And then the only other Digimon game I played was Digimon Rumble Arena, which was a little bit more funner. Was it fun? Fun, the right one? I don't know. But yeah, Satoshi Ishikawa. The reason why this may sound familiar to me is because he did sound design for Putamuri, which was on that inexplicably cute sound episode. And let's see. So yeah, Putamuri is his first credit as a sound design. And then Digimon World 2 as sound effects and composer. Would go on to do Digimon Card Battle, Mobile Suit Gundam Zeonic Front, Digimon World 3, From TV Animation One Piece, Digimon World 4, MS Saga, A New Dawn, Eureka 7's Volume 1 and 2, Digimon World DS, Mobile Suit Gundam Crossfire, Witch on the Holy Night, and 428 Shibuya Scramble in 2018. And that's all I got for you in this grab bag. Not even any crumbs left. You can shake it, there's nothing coming out. So yeah, thank you for coming in to VG Emporium, video game music and more. And if it happens to be your first time and you just made it this far, welcome. And you can find VG Emporium on all your favorite podcatchers such as Spotify, though it's maybe not everybody's favorite at the moment, but it's still there. Apple, Google, Amazon, Audible, as well as on what new is TerraPlayer, which is a website that is trying to centralize a bunch of video game podcasts, so not just VGM, but video game, related. And you can find that at terraplayer.com. And then VG Emporium, you can also find at the main website, which is vgemporium.wordpress.com, where you can find all the show notes, links, all the stuff you need. And then if you have any feedback, suggestions, or a song request, which is a special order we call here, you can send that on over to vgemporium@gmail.com, or go to the Discord, which, if you want to give that a shot. And you can do all the same stuff there and hang out with other folks that happen to shop here at VG Emporium. And then who am I blathering all this nonsense to you? Well, I am the host, Rage Cage, and you can also find me on Twitter, Instagram, as well as on SoundCloud where I post my original music. And now I got just some last bit of nonsense to spew at you, and that is that next week's episode is going to be episode 90. And how I'm going to celebrate that is featuring music from games based on a cartoon that was released in 1990 that pretty much opened the floodgates for original cartoons on television throughout the 90s. Yes, I'm going to be talking about Ren and Stimpy games. Oh joy! Though maybe it may not be such a joy to listen to some of the music from these games because they're generally not that good, but hey, interesting stuff. And also, I'm going to give you some cool factoids about the show itself, both the good and the bad. Gotta keep it interesting.